Hi there, it's been a little while since my last video, which was probably about a month ago, so I thought I'd do another one now. It's going to be another update of what I've got hold of in the last month. I've actually had a fairly busy month in terms of acquiring records. However, I haven't really spent a great deal, almost no money at all. This is my stack since the last time I did a video, so I'll tell you a little bit about what the records are that I've got. So what is it, middle of April now? So middle of March to middle of April 2016. You notice I'm wearing a very bright blue shirt this evening. This is my 1968 retro football shirt for a team called Leicester City, who are my team. Always have been since I was as small as I can remember. The only thing that made me cry more as a child than this football club was the death of Optimus Prime, but that's for another day. So I'm very proudly wearing this today because we're doing quite well, but I'm not going to talk about that anymore. So I've got a really good friend that lives probably about a mile away, and he's got a pretty awesome record collection. He's a real Beatles fan. He's got a lot of Beatles, to the extent that he's got kind of the entire mono run, different stamper numbers of Please Please Me and such like and so on. But I work with him, but we regularly go to each other's places and, you know, just have a chill, have a listen to some records and have a drink. And he came over last week, and he bought me a present, which was really kind of him. He didn't have to do that, but he did anyway. So it's an album that I see every now and then, here and there, but I've never had a copy of it. Not through wanting one, I've just never seen a really nice clean one. So he found one for almost no money. So this is, it's just called Peter Gabriel by Peter Gabriel. He actually did 4 albums called Peter Gabriel by Peter Gabriel. But I think this is the first one. Yeah. But it's referred to as Melt because it looks like the screen is melting. That's on the back. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I've listened to this fairly recently. I do post pictures of what I'm listening to. But this is a cracking album, absolutely fantastic album, and I can't believe I used to have a version a long time ago, a copy of it, and I think I dropped a drink on it. Yeah, I think it was a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or something like that, and I completely destroyed it in terms of I couldn't really clean it all off because it was boiling hot, so it kind of warped a little bit in certain areas. Yeah, it was beyond repair. That was about 5 or 8 years ago. So I've been lacking it since then, so I've got another copy of that. It was really kind. I'm going to give him some money for it, as much as he paid, but that was, I think, like 2 or 3 quid, something like that. Bargain. So that's the first thing. Easter Sunday, I went back to my wife's parents' house for a big Easter roast dinner thing. And her, let me get this right, her stepdad, so my stepfather-in-law, used to listen to records. He hasn't got a record player anymore, but he's got his attic, he's got a couple of really big boxes. He loves his records and he kept them really well. And we were just chatting over dinner and he went, oh, I'll go and get you some records to listen to then. And disappeared upstairs and came down with 3 records for me to bring to listen to. So these are not mine, these are on kind of a long-term loan. But yeah, so there's these 2 albums by a guy called Stephen Bishop. So there's one called Bish, which is that one. What year is that? 1978, and then this one is 1976, so just before, called Careless. I haven't actually spun these yet. I've done a little bit of research. It's down tempo, kind of slightly easier than prog rock music. So yeah, it was really kind of him to go and to give me these on a long-term loan. And the advantages of if it's not my cup of tea, I can always take them back. So I've got a nice lyric insert here, and yeah. I think this one's an ABC, the label, and this one's on MCA. So yeah, there's that one. Cool. Give it a listen. It's not cost me anything to have a listen, has it? The other one he brought me down is the only, apart from Coda, the only Led Zeppelin album I haven't got a copy of, which is Houses of the Holy, which is, I don't think it's a first press, but it's certainly, you know, a late 70s press. It's in great condition. Like I said, he kept his records absolutely, excuse me, immaculately. There we go. I think this is the last one they did on Atlantic. It's very thin vinyl. Well, that's just, you know, because of the 70s. 70s and 80s. The vinyl was all rubbish and thin because of the oil shortage. So yeah, that album is great, really great. It's, like I say, apart from Coda, the only one studio album of Led Zeppelin that I don't have a copy of. So cracking to have a copy of that, and I've listened to that a couple of times already, and it's brilliant. So that's that. Excuse me. So last week, I'm a school teacher, so I've had a couple of weeks off over the Easter holidays, and during the Easter holidays, I organised to go and see lots of my friends with my kids. We'd go out on day trips, bike rides, go on trains and all sorts. And one of the guys I work with is a guy from New York. He works at the school I work at, but I get on really well with him, and he's got a daughter. She's 9, I think. And so I went over there a couple of years ago just for a coffee, just me. But I took my kids over there. His wife's a childminder, so went over there for an afternoon. And he's got a really impressive record collection, which he's had for decades. So I did, with no agenda, we just went over there to have a nice catch up. And I was in the middle of a cup of coffee, and he comes in with a stack of records about this big, puts it next to me, goes, right, have a look through that. My dad just gave them to me. I don't really want them, I'm just going to bin them. But if you want to have a look through, see if there's anything you want. I was like, oh, are you sure? I'll give you something for him. He was like, no, not important. You know, just have a look, see if there's anything you like. So I had a look through the first couple of records, a couple of classical records, and kind of music for pleasure pressings, and thinking, all right, well, it's really kind of him to offer. But then I did, towards the back of the stack, pick up some stuff which I was really happy with. So, Beach Boys Party. I haven't got it. It's on Capitol. It's an American pressing. The sleeve's a little bit ripped, but the pressing itself is absolutely fine. It's got the old original bag as well with all the gumph on it. So fantastic. Really happy with that. Like I say, the sleeve's a little bit tatty, but it plays. It sounds great, in fact. Sorry about that. Sounds great. So no problem, really. The next one I picked out was the original soundtrack to Death Wish 2. I've seen this film. I can't remember much of it, which is, you know, probably says it all. That's all you need to know. When is it? 1982. It's on Swan Song, which is Led Zeppelin's label, but also the reason I picked it out is because the music was written and performed, or some of it was, by Jimmy Page. So, yeah, again, no money. Haven't listened to it yet, but I will do, and it'll be pretty awesome, I think. Next up, I got a couple of folk records. First one was The Complete Mr. Fox by a band or artist or duo called Mr. Fox. So there's 2 albums here. It's a double album called The Gypsy, and then another one called Mr. Fox. Now, there they are on the back. These haven't been played. This is I mean, the cover's obviously showing some signs of being 40, 50 years old, but the records themselves are clean as a whistle. And I don't have a lot of folk music, which is why I brought these away with me. I thought, you know, I'm not going to lose anything by giving them a listen. A label called Transatlantic, which I've never heard of. Quite a nice label. And I like it. It's nice. It's not anything that I would listen to regularly, but it's certainly, when I'm in the mood for it, something that I'll go for. So yeah, I was really chuffed with that. Really kind of him, because I tried to give him some money, he wouldn't accept. And further to that one, there's this one here, which is called, let me know, here we go, He Came From the Mountains. This is a little bit before the Mr. Fox, is it? No, it's 1971, so it's just after. But it's the same people that made this, but before they called themselves Mr. Fox. I'm trying to find their names. Here we go. Bob and Carol Pegg, recorded by Bob and Carol Pegg before they came to Fox. Okay, I like the cover. I thought, I've got nothing to lose on this. I've listened to it. It's really nice. And for free. I mean, blimey. So generous. I have no Thin Lizzy. I've been told by a number of different people that this is the only Thin Lizzy album I need to own. Please correct them in the comments if you need to. But yeah, so that's the Gatefold in good nick again, in the same pile. Bonkers. What else have we got? Oh, this one's a bit tatty, but I got this because I have a friend who played this to me once and I loved it. So it's called Beautiful Lives You Can Live In by Tom Rapp, or the band is called Pearls Before Swine. Do you know what, I did a bit of research online after I brought this home with me to find out what it was before, to kind of classify it. And it's classified as psych Folk Psych or something like that. The sleeve is absolutely battered to the hilt, but again, the record itself looks alright. I haven't played this one yet, although I have heard it before I brought it home. It's on Reprise. It's a bit mucky. I'm going to give this a run through the old Disco Anti-Stat to clean it up, but pretty happy with that, and I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to sell this on. You know, it was a gift to me. I'm not going to sell it, and if I did want to get rid of it, I would give it to somebody, because I have, you know, I'm not in in the record game to make profit. I'm in it because I like listening to music. Here we go. So John Martin, Glorious Fall. Now, I've never heard of this before, but as I'm looking through, my friend looks and goes, "Are you not taking that one?" I thought, well, I'm not really aware of it. He goes, "Just take it. It's a really good album. You'll really like it." So, yet to experience this. I've yet to play it, but again, I'm not going to lose anything by giving it a spin. If I don't like it, I can give it to somebody else, or possibly even, you know, take it to the charity shop or something. I'm saving the best till last. I really am. The next one, I've got it's an 80s repressing of Goat's Head Soup. I've got an early pressing, early Decca pressing of this, but it's absolutely, no, it's not Decca, sorry, it's their own label. It's absolutely mashed, my version. It's really, I mean, the record is okay. The sleeve is completely destroyed. I think I paid 50p for it or something. So this one's it's nice and clean, and that's the only reason I brought this one back with me. I'll probably get the other one and give that to somebody who wants some stones, because that's a much better quality pressing. Next up, got some more prog. So a band called Gentle Giant, an album called Freehand, which is on Chrysalis. I think this is worth some money, you know, but I'm not, like I say, I'm going to sell it. If I was going to get rid of it, I'll give it away. I've listened to this, it sounds great, fantastic, and again, no money involved whatsoever, just bonkers. There we go, that's the Chrysalis label. So I'm really chuffed with that. Next up, a bit more prog. There was a big old pile. I took about 1/10 of it away with me. A band called Egg. You can see this is on the DRAM label. Now, I didn't know this band when I came across it, but I looked at it, I saw the cover art. It's got eggs and a clock and kind of strange. And it says DRAM Nova in the bottom. Now, I know DRAM, I've got a few DRAM albums from various different people. And I looked at the back, and the track listing looks like this. On side 2, we have Symphony No. 2, Movement 1, 2, Blaine, Movement 3, and Movement 4. I thought, if that's not prog rock, I have no idea what it is. I've played it, and it's the proggiest prog I've ever heard. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. Turns out this is worth some money, but again, I'm not going to get rid of it. It's got that hole in the back there with a blue spot. Obviously, the bag has the blue spots on it to make sure that the blue shines through. Turns out this is actually a first press, but it's a later first press. I think the earlier first press had a red and white label. That's great. Get on YouTube and have a listen to that. It's fantastic. And finally, the last one that was in that stack that he did not want was a copy of Ummagumma by Pink Floyd. So this one, this was before their Dark Side and Wish You Were Here and Animals and all that kind of really popular stuff. Whether they were popular, don't get me wrong. This was what, late 60s? Very late 60s? Yeah, 1969. So there's 2 discs. There's the live album, and then there's the studio album. This is not a first press. I'll show you very quickly. You can tell a first press of the Floyd stuff on Harvest, because you can see that little EMI box just there above the word Harvest. Earlier presses would not have that EMI box. But again, this is clean. It's an album I didn't yet own. My friend just said, do you know what? Take it home and listen to it and enjoy it. It was just going to sit on my shelf waiting for me not to listen to it. So that's how I've done this month. Or I say this month. In the last 4 weeks or so. Absolutely mad. And I've spent, well, I will give some money to my friend for the Gabriel, because I didn't want to be out of pocket for that. And then just lots of people have given me stuff this month, which is mad. It's great, don't get me wrong, and I will return the favour, absolutely will. So yeah, that's how I'm doing. This weekend coming, so it's Tuesday now, so this weekend on Saturday I believe it's Record Store Day. There are a few releases I'm interested in getting my mitts on. However, I don't know if I really agree with the whole Record Store Day thing so much as maybe I did a few years ago. because it just, the amount of times I've gone to a record store day and seen guys and girls with a stack of records with about 3 or 4 different copies, 3 or 4 copies of the same thing, which they're just, you know, obviously going to get home, flip straight onto eBay and double their money. And I just thought, do you know what? If that's what you want to do, that's fine, but I'm not going to be part of it. I'm not going to buy record store stuff off the internet unless I'm getting it for the same price that it was on sale for. So there's the record store day stuff I got last year. I got the David Bowie 1966. And I couldn't get that on the store, although I saw somebody walking around with 4 copies of it. I didn't get there to get 1 copy for me. So I did end up getting that off eBay a few months later, but I paid, I think, £3 more than it was on the shelf. I just waited until I saw a cheaper one. So I'm not going to be part of that. I'm not interested in that at all. There are some releases I want to get my hands on. Design for Life by the Manic Street Preachers 12-inch. Would love a copy of that. Looks great. There's a couple of David Bowie releases. There's a picture disc, and there's 2 picture discs. A 7-inch one as part of the 40th anniversary series they're doing, and then there's a Man Who Sold the World picture disc, which is at the minute it's my favourite David Bowie album. But why they're doing it, there's no anniversary for it. Anyhow, I might go down really early on Saturday morning, depending on how I'm feeling. If not, Saturday, life will go on. Please, by all means, comment, say anything that needs to be said in the comments below. Subscribe to me. I've got 70 subscribers now. Bearing in mind, about 6 weeks ago I had, I think, 4. So thanks for the follows, guys. I am watching a lot of videos and commenting and interacting on other people's videos quite a lot as well. So that maybe it's bearing fruit, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. Up the foxes and take care of yourselves. I'll see you again